This show is not designed nor intended to replace your legal or medical advice. Angel Heart Radio, its hosts, co-hosts and guests do not prescribe medical treatment, nor do we dispense medical or legal advice. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for supporting Angel Heart Radio. Supporting you is our focus. We want you to know that you matter in the world. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite you to support us even further. So tweet us, Facebook us, pin us, post us to your friends' walls, email links to the shows to others. Thank you so much. You make what we do possible, and we are very, very grateful to you.
Hello and welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio for episode 2 of the Archangel series. I'm really delighted to be back with you again. We were with you 2 weeks ago when we brought you Archangel Sandalphon, and that was such a fantastic program. The feedback and the response has been really wonderful. People are telling us that they got so much out of that, and that the memes that we've been creating are giving them really practical, easy ways to remember what it is that the Archangels actually do. This week it's Archangel Haniel, and Haniel is such a beautiful, beautiful angel. I'm really excited to be able to bring this program to you and feature all 15 of the Archangels. That means so much to me in my life, and I know they do to Ros and to Leesa as well, and ways that you can work with them, understand them, and what it is they can specifically help you with. The Archangels are a wonderful band of angels on the celestial spectrum. So there are 9 celestial orders. We have angels starting right at the bottom, angels, archangels, principalities, powers, virtues, dominions, what's next? Thrones, cherubim, seraphim. So they are the beautiful ranks, for want of a better term, of angels. And every band of angels has a specific role and a specific vibration that they work within to help us to connect with them and to help us do what we've come here to do in the most beautiful way possible. So the Archangels, as I said, there are 15 of them that we're going to work with, Archangel Haniel being the second. So working with these Archangels really does give us like a powerhouse of tools and wonderful go-to beings that we can connect with so that they can assist us no matter what it is we're doing, no matter what it is we're facing, and no matter what it is we need assistance with. Having this wonderful connection with the angels and archangels has been such an incredible experience for me in my own life. I've come to learn and appreciate and understand that no matter what is going on for me, no matter what that is, I'm never alone and I'm never without help. I'm never without the opportunity to grow and learn with the assistance of the angels. Ha! I think this is Ros. Hang on a sec, let's find out. Hi, is this you, Ros?
It is me. Good morning. I've made it. I'm here. Well done for holding everything together, Anayah. I've arrived. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
It's one of those days. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning for you.
Thank you. Well, I've just done just dropped my youngest down at school, and I'm straight back here. Very happy to be with you this morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Good evening. Well, it's evening for me, but good morning for you. Lisa's not with us. I don't know where she is, so we're just going to go ahead because obviously I would say what's happened for Lisa is that she's having internet problems because there's no message from her, and that's not like Lisa. So we'll go ahead and hopefully, cross your fingers everyone, and call the angels that Lisa will be able to get on at some stage throughout the hour. So, Ros, Archangel Haniel. Isn't this... Haniel for me is a very feminine energy, so I will say she. For me, Archangel Haniel is the joy bringer. The joy bringer. How do you feel about Archangel Haniel?
Yeah, I definitely experience Haniel as a female energy, and she, for me, is very closely associated with the moon, and working with the moon, manifesting with the moon, understanding how you can really access the incredible, you mentioned the word celestial already this morning, celestial energy of the moon is something that Haniel will help with. And in addition to that, it's really neat actually that we're following on from Archangel Sandalphon, because 2 weeks ago we were talking about Sandalphon and how he helps us to experience the angels from Earth. He bridges the gap, the tallest angel. He helps us to be grounded in order that we can access the angelic realm, and all of that amazing energy that we can bring into our lives. And Haniel does that as well, but she does that in a slightly different way for me. Haniel for me is about helping you to access angelic energy through things like crystals, through homeopathy, opening up your spiritual gifts in a way which is kind of physical so that you can connect with something that you can hold or experience in a physical way. So yeah, very interesting actually, the way that these archangels that Leesa chose for us are kind of flowing through. And yeah, I really enjoy Haniel. Lovely to have a female energy angel because they're in the minority, aren't they?
Actually, yes. Yes, they are.
Mm.
For me, working with Haniel as well, I love how you mentioned those beautiful subtle energies like homeopathy, for example, and working with crystals, because Haniel is so beautifully geared to help us through that connection by going through her and that amazing connection she has with the moon. So in turn, particularly, now I'm not just saying for women, of course, but for our feminine aspect. So that's for you guys as well. So your feminine aspect will be really beautifully enhanced. You can get in touch with your intuition more, your clairvoyance, all through going through Archangel Haniel, because that's her focus, that's her speciality. That's one of the things that she does the best, I feel. It's said that Archangel Haniel has been with us working with human beings for eons. And because she has been with us for so long, she understands us as people. And isn't it lovely, Ros, to be able to go to a celestial being who understands us as people?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, kind of, real connection there with Haniel and also Sandalphon, this feeling of being understood, and certainly Haniel providing you with experiences in your physical world that enable you to develop a stronger connection with the angelic realm. And yeah, there's definitely that sense of, I get you, I understand, these are the ways that I can help you. And that's what I love about this Archangel series. As the Archangels, as we go through the Archangels, people are really going to think, right, I work with crystals, I'm a homeopath, or my mum's a homeopath, or I'm really interested in learning about flower essences, and these are your angels, these are your divine kind of specialists that you can really connect in with. So yeah, I definitely feel that with Haniel. I get you. Here are things in your physical world that you can use in order to refine your energetic connection with all of the angels. So yeah, I totally feel that too.
The other thing I learned while researching Haniel, and this is so cool, because we spoke about the two archangels, Sandalphon and Metatron, who are reported to have had human experiences, human lives. And through the grace of their being on planet Earth, through the being that they embodied here, were actually ascended into and made archangels. Now, Haniel, it's reported in some of the Kabbalistic texts, was the archangel that escorted Metatron to heaven.
Wow.
Sorry, actually Enoch, because he was Enoch when he was on Earth. So escorted Enoch to heaven through the ascension process to become Metatron. How cool is that?
Yeah, I love the way that the more you discover about the angels and about the history and about the connections, the more you see that it's all part of something huge and immense, and breaking it down like this, putting it into pieces, I think it enables you to develop a really personal relationship. And as you say, like I was talking about on the show a couple of weeks ago, you know, you may have a real particular bond with a particular archangel. Like, for example, Metatron, he is, to me, my angel. I mean, he's my birth angel, but he's also the archangel who I feel a real connection and resonance with. And through that wonderful archangel friend, I can be introduced. As you say now, Haniel has a different significance for me. It's like, oh, right, we were together at, Haniel and Metatron were together at this time, and this is the experience that we had. So it just broadens that whole awareness and understanding and enjoyment of the angels. So I love that you shared that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Haniel, as we did last week, everyone, and we will do in every week, we've created some beautiful... I'm doing it again, Ros. Is it memes or mems?
Well, I call them mems. I think that's what my friend Russell in the States calls them.
I'm going to call them mems now too. I'm going to call them mems too, because every time I talk about them, I call them something different. But we've created some beautiful memes.
Like memo.
Yeah, that's a good way to remember it.
Yeah, mem.
Okay, mems. So we've created some memes for you, with the idea being that it's just wonderful, Ros, isn't it, to be able to have an image to look at and know, oh, that's what Archangel Haniel will help me with. So we can look at it, we can appreciate it, and we can connect to it instantly just by looking at a beautiful image. So we've created some of those for you, and we've got some for Archangel Haniel tonight, which will go up over the course of the show and after the show as well. Now, we've also decided that we wanted to make these beautiful and accessible and free for you to use. So if you've got a blog or a website and you're looking for something along those lines, head on over to facebook.com/Angel Heart Radio. You will see the Archangel Series album. You can go and take anything out of there that you want to for use in ways that bring you joy. Perfect, because Archangel Haniel, of course, works with us to access more joy in our lives. Okay, so Haniel's name means grace of God. So Haniel will bring us feelings of more grace, and I really love calling on Haniel, Ros, if I'm feeling a bit nervous, so I've got to do some public speaking, or like the time that I was invited to a book launch with a prospective publisher who I didn't go with at the time, but I was really, really nervous. So I called in Archangel Haniel to help me to stay poised and to give me a feeling of being graceful. And it was beautiful, and it was a wonderful, powerful way for me to just relax into the moment. So Archangel Haniel is a wonderful angel, everyone. Archangel. If you've got somewhere that you've got to go, if you've got a function, if you've got a meeting, say you're meeting your prospective in-laws for the first time, for example, you can call on Archangel Haniel to help you to feel poised and graceful. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really powerful. And that goddess energy, one of the other names that she's known by is the goddess of the moon and stars. And that grace and that poise and that real kind of centered, tall, upright sense of kind of confidence and calm is something that definitely comes through with Haniel. I completely get that, Anayah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In ancient Babylon, there were a group of men known as the priests astronomers, and they worked obviously with astrology. They worked with the moon energy, they worked with astronomy, and it was wonderful because one of the things that also turned up for me with my research is that Haniel was one of the archangels that they worked with. So this connection that Haniel has with this moon energy, with that goddessy type of energy, goes back a long, long way. She's also associated with the planet Venus. So again, that love connection, that beautiful connection that we're all seeking to have the experience of feeling more love in our lives and in ourselves too. I think, Ros, is a big thing. We want to feel more loving towards ourselves, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because it just feels good to feel loving and to offer yourself that kind of energy that so many of us kind of bypass. We find it easier to offer that kind of experience to others, that we are the source, and if we allow ourselves to experience feelings of love, then we can really kind of multiply the positive influence that we can have in everybody else's lives. So, yeah, definitely that. And, I mean, Haniel to me feels really quite kind of Grecian or Roman in her energy, you know, very poised, very elegant, very kind of really ancient, really, and as you say, a sense of closeness to those of us here on earth. And of course all of the archangels have a divine specialism which is designed specifically to help us human beings here on earth. And I heard you were describing the kind of hierarchies within the angelic realm, and of course the archangels are in the band called Angels of the World, and they're all here with a particular divine specialism which will help us. And yeah, that is the way that Haniel can very much support us and help us in our lives. I have a very my connection with Haniel, if I may share it, would this be a good time for me to...
Oh, it'd be perfect. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Well, Haniel, for me, I very much, one of my challenges in life is balance. It's a big one for me. I'm really good at being kind of, you know, adrenaline fueled, and I have a lot of energy, and I can be very kind of driven and dynamic. And I find middle ground quite difficult. So historically what I've tended to do is push myself too hard, work too hard, and then find that it's a very short-term approach to life, because I end up with the consequences of that, which are being overtired or becoming unwell. So this year, the beginning of 2015, it was a priority for me, a high priority for me, that health was my priority. You know, my children and my family are my high priority. But in terms of being successful long-term, enjoying my life long-term, health was important to me. And as I get older, and this is a conversation for men and for women, and an awareness for men, and probably an understanding and appreciation from women. I'm 41 now, and I've noticed that as I've become older, I've changed. I've changed in lots of different ways. And Haniel helps me to be balanced, but she's also helped me with my menstrual cycles. Now, as you kind of go through life, you change. There are cycles of development. There are cycles of growth. There are cycles of aging and maturity. And Haniel has really, really helped me through working with her to find balance and to find harmony in the cycles of lots of different areas of my life. And my menstrual cycles have been one of those, is to get very kind of hormonal. So if any of you ladies out there are having challenges with your menstrual cycles, or men for that matter, having challenges with their ladies' menstrual cycles, then Archangel Haniel is the angel to ask, to bring balance, to bring calm, to bring an acceptance and an appreciation that we do have cycles in life, and that's okay. And I think for a long time I was trying to approach life from the same kind of high up level of energy and kind of approach and kind of, you know, direction. But Haniel's really helped me to understand that there are cycles, and that's why she works with the moon, you see, because all you need to do is look out of the window, and once you start paying attention, you'll notice that every day the moon looks different, and that's because the moon has cycles. The moon waxes and the moon wanes, and as the goddess of the moon and stars, she gives an appreciation of that. So we have our mems, which are ways of visually remembering certain connections, looking up into the night sky and seeing how the moon's got smaller or bigger, and understanding how that ties in with you and your cycles in life is something that I think is very comforting. We can't go through life with a constant feeling of the same. It's cycles. And as you develop and as you grow, the cycles become much less intense. The cycles become much less extreme, but there are still cycles, and they're necessary in order to rest and recover and then come back with more energy. And it's honouring those cycles that Haniel helps me with. And a beautiful thing the other day, we call it, I don't know what it's called when you see the moon up in the sky during the day, but I call it, with the boys, I call it the day moon. There's a day moon. And we were walking home from school with my youngest, who's 4, and my eldest, who's 11, and my youngest son, little friend, was walking with us, and she pointed to the moon, and we started to talk about the moon. We started to talk about how the moon waxes, in other words, gets bigger, and wanes, gets smaller, and I saw the wonder in her eyes as she kind of started to make sense of what happens in the sky constantly all of the time. And that was an introduction to a 4-year-old of, the moon and cycles and how everything has a passage to go through. It's a circle. So that's how Haniel helps me. Does that make sense to you, Anayah?
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense, and I think that was a very wonderful point that you brought up, that it's really good for men to understand this as well, because they may be having issues with women in their life, not really understanding about their cycles perhaps, because traditionally it's not something that men have been taught about. As women get taught about cycles and menstrual cycles, men don't always get taught that themselves. And I think that's really empowering and important, because this is such a sacred time for a woman, and that's another thing that I think there's like a link that's been missed out on for the so-called modern woman, that, we've got sprays so we don't have to smell like a woman. You know what I mean? We've got all these products to use. We get away from your body, don't have any connection with it. And I think it's important and very wonderful to start coming back to how beautiful it is to have the opportunity. And let's face it, you and I both know that menstruating isn't always a very enjoyable experience. However, it's an extremely powerful one, and it's also a very sacred one. I mean, without that, we don't have children on the planet for a start, do we?
Yeah, definitely. And I completely get that. It's honouring, it's almost kind of appreciating your body's cycle. The fact that this happens automatically, the fact that there are hormones there, and once you start to kind of work with the angels and become aware and accept that there are cycles. A menstrual cycle is an opportunity to cleanse, it's clearing. And yes, it gives you an opportunity to have children. But I think a lot of tension, it's quite an interesting subject actually, the way that women menstruate and the emotion that can come up around that. But it's like working with Haniel helps you to accept that this does happen. Sometimes if your menstrual cycle starts at an inconvenient time, it's like, oh. But it's like, well, this has happened. Means I'm healthy. This means that this is something that, I can appreciate. It offers me a reminder of my womanliness. And, yeah, I completely agree. So Haniel helps you to accept and kind of go with the flow, if you'll excuse the pun, of things that happen in your life. And it connects in very beautifully with that self-love that you've taught, and with that grace and with that poise and being a woman. And we're talking about women a lot here, and this is not about it being about women and not being about men. I think that the more that women understand about men and the more that men understand about women, the better. And also to understand that within this balance, I may be a woman, but in order for me to be balanced, it's necessary for me to have balanced male and female energy. In order for a man to be balanced, it's beneficial for him to have balanced male and female energy. So it's not one or the other. It's this blending and this, this beautiful balance and grace that comes through with appreciation for, the opposite sex.
I agree. I think that's very well said. One of the really, I can see my dog Sam, he wants to bark. Sam, no, we're on the radio.
Good boy.
Because it's evening. Good boy. Because it's evening here, everyone. Sam would normally be outside, but it's evening, it's dark here, and it's his bedtime, so he's in bed. So having this connection to the moon, I think is a really wonderful thing now to start talking about how we can do that in a very practical way. And moon bathing is one of those ways. It's a very beautiful, simple, practical, energetic tool that we've really gotten out of the habit of, is spending time under the moon's rays. This doesn't have to take a lot of time, but some time, particularly if you're in a country or a city or a town where it's not freezing cold, take your feet, bare feet onto the ground. Feel yourself like a tree. You're planting yourself onto the earth. And if you feel like it, and I've done this myself many times and I find it beautiful, just slowly bring your arms up from your sides like a big old tree, palms open to the heavens, and call in all the love and all the peace and all the balance that exists throughout the heavens, and call in Archangel Haniel to bring the joy in, bring that moon energy in. And I actually feel that energy begin to settle in the palms of my hands, on my shoulders, gracing my arms. I feel my feet just connect more solidly to the earth. Imagine the roots coming out of your feet and grounding you right into Mother Earth. It's a great way to shed anything you don't want to carry anymore, whether that's a physical challenge you're going through, emotional, mental, it doesn't matter. Say you've just got a busy mind today. Let it seep down through your being, through your physical being, out through your feet and into Mother Earth, where it will be transmuted and balanced. This is such a simple thing, Ros, isn't it? Once upon a time, we all spent time under the moon, but we've changed as people and how we live has changed, and that's not something we really do so much of anymore, and we have to make that, I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to spend some time under the moon. But I think it's well worth it, and I would love to hear from anyone who does this. I'd come and post on Facebook or private message us if you don't want to post publicly, and let us know what you experience and how you feel about that connection with the moon and Archangel Haniel. Ros?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the moon was very much part of people's lives, back in the day, as people say, for very practical reasons. Once you start understanding the different phases of the moon, or even noticing them, you don't need to understand them, but noticing them, you'll find that certain things, which are really very practical, are much easier in certain phases, like cleaning a mirror, things like that. Back in ancient times, there'd be a particular time for you to light fires in your home and, to start the warmth of the house up. And there's a great book, actually, that I'm just looking at on my bookshelf here to the right, and it's called Moon Time, and it's by, the names of the authors I can't read out, but it's Joanna Paunger and Thomas Popper, Poppe, and it's called Moon Time. And within that book, there are loads of really practical kind of like ancient traditions, but very practical, this makes sense and saves time, ways of working with the moon. And yes, moon bathing. We are very much connected to the moon and the gravitational force of the moon, and we can really benefit. And also, of course, so do our crystals, don't they? Getting our crystals out when the moon is full. And it's worth just saying now, actually, that this is perfect timing, as always, for us to be talking about Archangel Haniel and the moon, because we've got the full moon coming up on the 25th, which is just in just 2 days' time. On Wednesday, there'll be another full moon. So that's really exciting to know about, because the full moon, when the moon is completely visible, completely full, in terms of the way that we experience and see it here on Earth, is a powerful time, as is the new moon, when it appears as though the moon has completely vanished. So understanding the different phases, the fact that you've got a full moon and then about 14 days later you're going to have a new moon, it regulates things. I think sometimes life can feel as though it's an expanse, a continuum, but once you start to connect in with the full moon, the new moon, the fact that it's waxing, the fact that it's waning, you start to kind of get a rhythm to life. And I think that rhythm to life is something that was very much a part of history in ancient times, that gave people great security and comfort. And it's like I was describing before, this feeling of continuousness, this feeling of constantly maintaining a certain feeling. We're not designed to work in that way or function in that way. So working with the moon is powerful. So yeah, full moon, 25th of November 2015, which is Wednesday. So yes, a powerful time, and a time in which I will be burning my wishing moon letter, which is a letter that I write every new moon. So, great thing to mention, this ancientness again that comes through with Haniel, this sense of history and sense of knowing us on Earth and having ancient connections here with us on Earth. It's very comforting, very familiar, and takes us back to our roots, which are grounded, aren't they, Anayah?
Absolutely. It's a wonderful thing that we have so much available to us to be able to learn. And, you know, like I was only thinking the other day, Ros, back in the day where there were no spiritual books in bookstores. None. Except maybe a few in the occult section. And that was sort of a dusty, dim section in the back of some bookstores. You know, if we wanted information, we had to go to libraries or state libraries, depending on the type of information we wanted, or buy an encyclopedia. We have so much available to us now. Yeah, remember how now we have so much information available to us. It's a good thing to remember to give thanks for that information as well. To just spend a moment to really remember that, wow, we've got so much accessible, and isn't that just a beautiful thing for us to have on tap? You know, like who doesn't know how to say I'll Google it? Most people do.
Absolutely.
Most people will mention something and people will just start Googling because we want to know more. Okay, so I've put up one of the memes on the memes. I do not know what my block is on that one, but I've put up one on our Angel Heart Radio wall on Facebook. I've got another one to go up, which is just so beautiful. I really love this one, so I'll do this one. I'll do the next one in a second. I want to give a shout out to my friends who are listening. We have beautiful Simon and Jane listening this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. These wonderful people are incredibly special to me and represent a time in my life of great enrichment and great joy. So if you are listening, lots of love, Simon and Jane. Okay. One of the other things, I guess, that's really important to me about the Archangel series, Ros, is this opportunity that we have to help people to connect maybe for the first time, or maybe it's a deeper connection. And that seems to be a niche that Angel Heart Radio is really filling at the moment. People want to know more about angels. They want to know how they can work with angelic beings on a regular day-to-day basis, whether it's I need a car park, whether it's I need help because I'm unwell or my child's unwell, whether it's my husband needs a new job, whether it's something's happening on the planet and I want to learn how to send out great waves of peace and love to everyone involved in those times and situations. And it's very heartening to me, Ros, that we can spend this time together, which we both so thoroughly enjoy, but bring forward these opportunities for people to connect not only with the beauty that is them, but all the joy of the energies of the angels and archangels, all the deities, the subtle energies on the planet, other people. It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, very much. It's very fulfilling to share this information so that people can develop their own relationships with the angels, because you're talking about appreciation for what's available to us, you know, in terms of technology, in terms of information and books and yes, that's so true, and it's so expansive to have that experience, and the angels offer you so much, and the more familiar they are to you, the more little kind of like flags you have, the more connections, you know, the more rich your life will become, the more confident you'll be about who to speak to, who to ask. Your friend circle doubles, you know, overnight, and you're connecting with meaningful energies that are there to help you. So yes, it's tremendously fulfilling and enjoyable to me to be part of this too, Anayah. I know we both feel that very sincerely.
Absolutely. One of the other things that I personally find is wonderful about working with Archangel Haniel, because this was a big struggle for me for a really long time, how to be feminine and powerful both. Because there is a fine line that often gets blurred between empowerment and aggression. And when we're first learning, particularly if we're coming out from under some heavy burdens, Ros, it sometimes is a little bit tricky walking that line and learning what it truly means to be empowered without going down the road of becoming aggressive.
Yes, absolutely. And I think power is a word that a lot of people feel quite uncomfortable about very often. Like you say, if you've come from a situation where you feel as though you need to be extremely strong, then that kind of assertiveness, it can be a forceful energy, not a powerful energy. And power is something which is purely positive. So, yes, I completely understand that.
It's brilliant. I really love that. So I'm very grateful to Archangel Haniel for really being a part of my journey to help me. See, there's parts of this for me, learning to identify what it is I truly want to express, and when I'm not feeling powerful, that it really isn't someone out there that's taken my power away from me, so therefore I have to go out there with my big marching boots on and say, give that back. This was a big thing for me, learning that, you know what, my power comes from the source of me, the source of all good. And it's not a power over. It's a power of choice. I have the power to choose. Yes, I will behave this way. No, I don't. That doesn't make me feel good. And hey, let's face it, it's not that I'm some angelic being on the planet and I wander around with great magical wings and I'm always in tune and I'm always in balance, because that is simply not true. However, I'm learning more and more and more what it means to feel in my being, to feel that deep well of love and support and guidance and light and trust that working with the angels means for me. So working with Archangel Haniel has been absolutely brilliant for me, learning how to make that distinction and then behave in a way that brings me poise at the same time as feeling empowered around the choices that I'm making.
Yes, I agree, Anayah, and I think that you've mentioned the word, on a number of occasions. It is the power of choice. It is knowing that when you become responsible for the choices that you make, for the actions that you take, responsible for clarity. I mean, I speak to people a lot about understanding that once you're clear about the way that you want any situation in your life to be, once you're clear about how you want to feel, then that's the way that you manifest it. That's what the angels hear from you. They hear your feelings all of the time. And if your feelings are forceful feelings that come from protection, come from ego, they don't feel comfortable and they don't feel easy to maintain. Power comes from, as you say, love. It comes from personal responsibility and clarity. Power comes from experiences that you've had, which provide you with a different perspective, from self-love. And yes, Haniel is that angel who can really help you to feel comfortable with power, feel comfortable with your choices, your acknowledging that you can choose, and that really, Esther Hicks says this all the time, you're choosing all of the time. You're choosing to be miserable. You're choosing to complain. You're choosing to focus upon the challenges or the difficulties or the lack. It may be that you're compelled, but you are choosing. And even knowing that you are choosing can be something which provides you with a sliver of light which can just take you a step in another direction towards making different choices. So yes, I completely, in that power and being comfortable with power, knowing that it is a life-enhancing energy and an energy which gives and an energy which contributes and is expansive, is something for people to really become comfortable with. I completely agree.
Beautiful. I'd like to read something from Doreen Virtue's Archangels and Ascended Masters now, and this is under Archangel Haniel, everyone. So this is when Doreen has communicated with Archangel Haniel, and this is the words that she has received from Archangel Haniel. Haniel says, "Yes, I'm patient with humanity because I can see all the good they've created. For every moment of intolerance, there are hundreds of deep kindnesses to overshadow the darkness. The light humanity shines brighter today than ever. If you could see humanity from my point of view, you'd know why I have such a deep regard and love for you all. I'm happy to help in whatever cause advances humanity above the din of clashing egos and elevates you to the level from which you have come. It's grace and eternal beauty." And isn't that just magnificent to remember, to be told, to have it brought to our attention that we do, as human beings, it's so easy to focus on the lower vibrational stuff that we contribute and incite and bring about. But isn't it wonderful to start focusing on the beauty that we have as well? You know, the smile of a stranger. It sounds so cliche, but I tell you what, if you've ever been in a situation, Ros, where you've been feeling so down and lonely as I have, and just feeling like I just don't know where to go from here, and then a stranger smiles at me randomly, it's happened in the past, and suddenly my energy has lifted and I felt better about things. So it's a real doorway that can open for people. The smile of a stranger, it can be any act of kindness. It can be the act of kindness of picking up a piece of litter and throwing it in the rubbish bin instead of leaving it run down the road. It can be the act of kindness of picking up an injured animal off the side of the road and taking it to the vet. It can be any number of things. And isn't this such an empowering opportunity for us to focus and remember, Ros, that we do more good than we give ourselves credit for?
Yeah, absolutely, and that is power, isn't it? That is our power, that is our choice, and power is about being confident enough to be that person that walks all the way from their front door to town and back again, saying good morning to everybody, and that is power, and that is positive impact, and that is encouragement, and that is not kind of being antagonistic. It's about being open and loving and powerful and genuinely wanting to connect with people as you walk down the street, as you say, pick up a piece of litter, or that's power. That's doing things which other people might criticize you for, or reject you for, or tell you that you're doing something weird or strange for. But that's power. That is power. That is power. That feels good to me. And I offer this to you unconditionally. You don't need to say good morning to me, and I'm not flouncing it underneath your nose. I'm saying to you, this is a sincere wanting to connect with you. And I have noticed that people are becoming even more open and understanding the necessity that we all connect with each other, and that we do smile, and that we do say good morning, and that we do understand how we can contribute positively to each other's lives, and that we do. And like you say, a smile is brave, to smile, and it can change a whole day for somebody to smile at you. So yes, I agree.
It's wonderful. There's someone that lives in the general area. I don't know where, but I've seen him on a number of occasions as I'm driving my gorgeous little car around. And I'm not sure what's happening with him, but it's like his knees are fused. He can't actually bend his legs. And so he walks, and he can't walk one foot in front of the other. It's like, the peg leg walk. And he walks along these streets to go to the shop to get his milk or whatever he's doing. And the first time I saw him, I thought, oh, wow, look at this guy. He's amazing. I wonder what I would do if that was the way I had to get around. Because he's out there in the world, he's doing his thing. Excuse me. And I've seen him on a number of occasions now. And I just feel this sense of empowerment coming from him. Because how easy would it be to say, I can't possibly walk to the shop? And it's quite a walk that he's on. It's not just, a few doors away. He's on quite a long walk. And in the Brisbane heat, it's very hot here, and that gave me such a lift. It gave me such a sense of, I just wanted to, high-five him, go, yes, I love how you're out there living your life. Not because you've got something going on with your legs, but because whatever is going on in your day, you've made a decision that this is how you're going to live your life, and I can see that. And for me, that makes a difference in my day. It's a beautiful thing. And something that I wasn't even thinking of until it just popped into my mind, talking about small acts of kindness and how we can elevate our own experience of our day. I stopped to get fuel a couple of days ago, and as I put the nozzle into my car, and I don't know whether you do, but I turn around and I kind of watch the numbers flicking over. I noticed this little beetle. Yeah, I noticed this little beetle was caught inside the machine there. And I thought, what am I going to do? And then I thought I should ask whoever is working here if it's possible, if they've got keys to open up and get this little beetle out. And then I thought, I don't think I'm an idiot. And then I thought, does it really matter? And then I thought, well, no, but I'll still feel like an idiot. So I went through this little thing in my head until I finally went in to pay for my fuel. And I said to the guy, this may sound like a strange request to you, but I noticed that beetle is trapped in there, and I'm wondering if it's possible if you could open the glass cover and let it go. And he looked at me and he said, do you want me to open that for the beetle? And I said, well, if you could, I'd really appreciate it. And he said, if I've got keys, I will certainly do that. And I thought, I had all this backwards and forwards in my head about what he was going to think about me. And if people were in line, they'd think, oh, what a stupid woman that is. See, that's the thing about working with the angels, isn't it, Ros? When we start getting into the pattern of, okay, I hear my ego mind talking to me, that's all right. What does my heart and my gut tell me? Okay, I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to take that risk and go out on that limb and allow myself the luxury of feeling a bit silly to do what it is that feels so right to me, so nurturing to me.
Yeah, absolutely, Anayah. And I mean, I've got a little example of that, about what gets in the way. Balance is one of my things, which you know, but also this fear of getting it wrong, right? Fear of getting it wrong. And that can come through in lots of different situations. And it came through a couple of months ago. At my children's school, we have Harvest Festival. And for Harvest Festival this year, the teachers and the school wanted to focus upon the shoe box. It's called Love in a Box scheme. And what people do is they have, I'm sure you have it over there in Australia and other parts of the world too, you get a shoe box and you fill it with lovely little toys and knickknacks and Christmas things for a child somewhere in the world who'll never know who it's from to open on Christmas Day. You know, children who wouldn't otherwise have so much to open. And it's a wonderful thing. And you must have seen the videos that go up on Facebook and other places, you know, the joy that this brings. And I nearly didn't do it because I was so worried about getting it wrong. What was going through my head was, what if I get the age wrong? What if I put things in which aren't fun? What if the kids would have preferred something different? What if I put something in that wasn't on the list? What if? And I nearly didn't do it. How ridiculous not to do something so beautiful and so loving and so positive and so life-enhancing for both of us, for me and for the child, because you're frightened of getting it wrong. So that's exactly what the angels do. They're like, okay, you're frightened of getting it wrong, but you know that you're going to get the most amazing feeling from this, and you know that getting it wrong is getting in the way, but you can't ever get it wrong. If your intention is to do your best, if your intention is to be loving, then you can never get it wrong. So I did it. and I wrapped it and everything and took it into the school, and I understand that it's been sent off somewhere for somebody little kid to open at Christmas. But, I mean, how incredible is that the fear of getting it wrong gets in the way of you doing things at all sometimes. So the angels help you to be brave. They say, look, you know, you're worried about getting it wrong, but just do it. And you do. But that's big, isn't it? That's a big thing that and I'm a confident person. You know, I do YouTube videos and I work with people and I do events and, you know, I chat to people. I'm very confident and enjoy people socially. I do lots of things that take me outside of my comfort zone. But you come across something, and you too, Anayah, you're the same. You come across a beetle in a petrol pump, cover, and it's something that makes you think, I want to do this because it feels like a good thing to do, but I'm worried people are going to be huffing in the queue behind me, or the man on the till is going to think I'm a weirdo for asking if I can release a beetle. There are much more important things that he needs to be doing. And so it's being aware of that dialogue, isn't it? And it's saying, yes, that's going on, but it's not going to prevent me. It's power. It's power. So, yeah, totally. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
It reminded
me because, and you know, this is the great thing, Ros. You and I and lots of other people. Leesa, I miss Leesa tonight. I mean, we've had a wonderful time together. Leesa will be with us next time, everyone. I'm certain she's had internet problems tonight. It does happen occasionally where she lives, but it's wonderful. I know Leesa would have had small stories like that as well that have made a difference in her life as well. So I guess the whole thing that I'm trying to say here, and you've said so eloquently, Ros, is don't let the fear stop you. Use it as your fuel. Yes, I'm feeling scared of, and like you, huge fear about getting it wrong. What if and it sounds so nothing when you say it on the radio. What if I get it wrong? But at the time, it's like my little girl inside me, this tiny little child, is so desperate not to get it wrong that I'm willing to go to the lengths of not experience. For years, I didn't experience swimming, for example, because I was so afraid, and I know a lot of women, and probably a lot of men will relate to this, I was so afraid of looking like the most unattractive woman there.
Oh, Anayah.
For years and years and years, I never went swimming. And if we went anywhere where there was swimming, I never took togs. And then when Bailey was born, my grandson, I thought to myself one day, oh my God, I'm missing out on like life living this way, Anayah. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
It's finished. So I went out and I bought myself a pair of togs, and I go swimming every chance I can get now. And it is so freeing and so valuable to me as a human being, as a being on this planet, that I have had some of the best fun. Yeah, I know. How's that? As a Pisces, not to feeling, scared about getting in the water. So if you're listening, or you know someone who is scared of, instead of trying to push that person into, oh, come on, it's about time you got over that, maybe you could call on Archangel Haniel or any of the angels or archangels. Please bring the gift of self-acceptance ever closer to my friend, to myself. Please help my friend, please help me see how wonderful and magnificent I truly am, regardless of what I look like in a cozy. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm looking at the clock. We've got 4 minutes left, and I haven't done my guided Archangel Haniel meditation. So what I'm going to do, everyone, is I'm going to record that probably tomorrow or the next day, and I will edit that into the program. So you can come back and listen later whenever it suits you and experience that then. I think that's a great way to do it. Okay, so on our very next Archangel series, we have Archangel Michael. Yes, love Michael. Love them all, but I've just got this fabulous connection with Michael. He's my big brother, I just love him.
Yay.
And you're going to be leading a process for people for Michael, aren't you, Ros?
Wonderful. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. That will be great fun. So I think I might get together some, I'm really glad that you're going to do the visualization, because I think that's really powerful way of connecting, and a little short invocation, and maybe even a couple of little cards, actually, that might be quite questions that you might ask Archangel Michael with your own cards, which might be powerful for people to do. Looking forward to that. Love Michael, leader of the angels. Yes, very exciting. 2 weeks' time, I'll be there.
Wonderful. So I don't know what time it is in the United States for people. I guess it's the middle of the night or early morning. In Brisbane, Australia, it's 7 p.m. In the UK, London time, I don't know what the letters are, but it's 9 a.m. And in New Zealand, it's 10 p.m. So that's alternate Mondays is the Archangel series. So next week, it's the Angel Life Hour with Leesa and myself. And in the future, I can see us doing a lot more on Angel Heart Radio together, Ros. I love working with you. I love what you bring, and I love the way that you bring it so graciously and so full of love and life for people.
Oh, well, I'd love to do lots of things with you, Anayah. It's always a pleasure to be with you and to share our love of the angels and to help people to discover how the angels can help them. So, yes, that'd be excellent. Look forward to that.
Brilliant.
Very much.
Absolutely wonderful. So in these last 2 minutes, everyone, here is an invocation from Doreen Virtue's Archangels and Ascended Masters for Archangel Haniel. Archangel Haniel, overseer of grace, poise, and charm, please bring your divine energy of loving wisdom to describe your situation. Thank you for guiding my words, my actions, and mannerisms, and for helping me to enjoy myself while being blessed, while bringing blessings to everyone who sees or hears me. I ask that your divine magnetism draw only positive energies to me. Thank you, Haniel. Thank you. Isn't that gorgeous?
Really gorgeous. Thank you very much, Haniel. Very much enjoying her energy today that I shall carry with me throughout the whole day. I've got a very busy day, and that grace and poise and that wonderful energy of Haniel will be very much appreciated today. So thank you for sharing all of that, Anayah. Really, really enjoyed all of your insights. And you have a very special connection with Haniel, don't you? You can really feel that.
Yes, I do. I really do. Thank you. And I'd like to direct everyone to your website, Ros, angels-with-ros.com. There is a heap of stuff there, but please do Google Angels with Ros. Ros is on Facebook. Ros is on YouTube. What's that other one that you've just started? Udemy or something?
Udemy, yeah. It is pronounced Udemy. Yeah, I thought it was Udemy. But I was like, what does that mean? But Udemy, yeah, Udemy. It's a really exciting kind of course platform. 8 million students on there. Massive variety and array of courses being offered. And, yeah, I've just put my first Guardian Angel course up there, and I love it, Anayah. It's interactive, it's fun, you can really connect with people, you can put pictures up, you can put videos up, you can put recorded stuff up. It's really flexible. You'd love it. I'm looking forward to being an instructor with you on there. Definitely, you'd really love it. It's great energy. So yeah.
That sounds wonderful. So do please, everyone, check out Ros, Angels with Ros. Just Google her, because it's just something that I know will enhance your everyday life. Connect with Ros Place. Ros, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to the next time.
Yes,
and for everyone,
too, very much.
And for everyone listening, I'd just like to leave you with this. Please take good care of you. You are wonderful and magical and special and incredibly beautiful. You're beautiful beyond compare, whether you know that or not. And be kind to you, because you deserve it. You deserve all the kindness to be lavished upon you, so start by lavishing it upon yourself. Until next time, this is Anayah Joy-Halili, sending you love, sending you peace, and sending you light.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world. and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice.